Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 49 of the Wheels to Walking presidential debates. The debates with a guy in a wheelchair and a guy not in a wheelchair.
Wrong. That's entirely untrue. That is entirely untrue. Wrong. False.
Would you shut up,
that is
man?
entirely untrue. Entirely untrue. You are the worst. I am not the worst. Wrong. No. Well,
This guy.
China.
So unpresidential. Worst president we've ever had. Wrong.
would you just shut up, man?
So last night was the presidential debates, if you didn't know, and if you don't live in the United States, or if you're living under a rock, or if you just don't give a fuck, because I don't blame you, because it was in literally the words of like a CNN analyst at the end. They were like, pardon my language, but that was a total shit show, and we're allowed to say that because we're on cable, but pardon my it was so funny. I'm like, I didn't know they could say shit show on CNN.
Well, they were not on cable. They were live streaming, I think, on YouTube or whatever.
They were on cable.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it was a shit show. It was like, I saw a tweet by like Trevor Noah. It was like, tonight was a reminder that kindergarten teachers are underpaid. Because it was just like two kids just like yelling at each other, talking over each other the whole time.
Yeah, I mean,
sir, you know what? We're going to give Joe Biden 30 seconds back because you need to stop interrupting. Well, I've not been the only one who's interrupting. Other people have been interrupting, but you've been interrupting more than the other. Well, no, sir, your campaign agreed to the rules. Well, you know, my campaign, I am not my campaign. I am the Democratic Party. Earlier tonight, you said that you were the Democratic Party. Well, I'm currently not an active Democrat right now.
oh my God.
I didn't say anything about Portland because no one will listen to me anyway.
Yeah, it was, I mean,
do you hate black people? You need to denounce white supremacy. Well, but Antifa, though.
Yeah. So anyways, instead of quoting the whole thing, what did you think immediately after or during?
I don't know, bro. I mean, I feel like most people that are undecided voters are going to tune in to the first debate, and that will be the only debate they turn into because they're undecided and they honestly don't give a shit. They're disengaged anyway. And I feel like both Joe and Trump, like, kill me, whatever. But Donald and Joe, both Donald and Joe. But I mean, Trump is a showman, as always. You know, he's quick-witted, he's quippy, he's fast talking, he's over talking. You know, Joe is very slow and not smooth and like kind of stutters sometimes where he'll try to say a word and then it doesn't come out. So he says like another word instead.
I'm mainly saying like, what did you like overall, not just like recapping the debate. What are you thinking? Like, as far as I
didn't get anything out of it, honestly.
It was not productive at all.
At all. Like, I was like, cool. Like, I just spent 90 minutes watching two people yell at each other for no reason. Like,
yeah.
Like everything they talked about, like coronavirus, like the economy, like law enforcement, like nothing. Like I didn't like. That's the problem about debates. It's like we have 90 minutes and 2-minute segments to talk about these big, gigantic, challenging issues, while also having an ego fight with some dude on the other side of the stage.
Yeah, it was just, for me, the whole thing was just really embarrassing. Honestly, like.
Yep, like other countries looking in like, look at those fuckers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm just like, man, the simulation is really glitching hard today.
Yeah.
Like, it is just glitching hard. Because the fact that these two fucking clowns are the two guys that we've got on the national stage, like, literally at one point, Biden called him a clown. It was great.
He goes, and then we got the clown over here. I mean, Mr. President. Like, he literally, like...
He's like, sorry, I'm sorry. He always says something. Did you see, like, a couple, like, last week when he called that group of military people stupid bastards? And then Donald Trump brought it up last night. He was talking to a bunch of people from the military, and he said something and they didn't clap. He was like introducing someone, and he goes, clap, you stupid bastards. He literally said that. And then last night Donald Trump was like, and you called our military stupid bastards. He's like, I did not say that. He's like, yes, you did, and you know it, you said it. And
that is untrue.
He did say that. He did call the military stupid bastards. Granted, it was kind of funny.
My son. Well, which son are you talking about? I'm not talking about Bo. I'm talking about the other one.
I'm talking about the dead one that died of drugs. Like, it's like, oh my God, that was a low blow.
Is that how Bo died?
well, one of his sons is alive, and that's the one that they were talking about Moscow and all this stuff, and the other one was in the military and died because of drug problems and stuff.
I don't know much, but from what I understand,
and it was very messed up that he even brought that up.
From what I took away from it was that the one that's still alive was the one that had the drug problem that got clean.
I don't know. Either way, I'm pretty sure what I said a second ago was what I knew, but I don't know. Either way.
My son was a patriot and not a sucker or a loser.
He wasn't prepared for that one. But either way,
I mean, neither of them were
the
prepared
bottom
for
line is
anything.
I don't necessarily care about the issues that they discussed because they didn't discuss any issues at all, really. Like,
they really didn't.
Both of them were just accusing each other of not having a plan. Both of each other were just accusing each. Well, if you were in my position, this would have happened. Oh, well, no, if I was in your position, this would have happened.
And they talked stats. It's like,
and their stats are not even right. Like, Joe Biden flubs the numbers so often. He's like 400,000 people contracted the COVID-19 coronavirus, and it's like, what did you even just say? I have no idea what you just said, and it's just very sad because I mean, like, honestly, I think Andrew Yang would have done really great in a debate setting.
I would love to see Joe Jorgensen even hop up on there and.
Yeah, and add a third. I don't know about her debate style. She might have gotten ran over by, because that's the thing. It's like the only way that you can have a healthy debate is if both parties are agreeing to the like rules of the debate. And I mean, let's be honest, Trump was breaking them more, but at the end of the day, the only way to fight back of someone who doesn't give a fuck. It's like, how do you play chess against someone who just flips the table?
You flip it back.
Yeah, like you can't win against someone who's playing chess if all they're going to do is just flip the table once they start losing or once you start bringing up stuff that they don't want to hear. It's like, it's just not a
I'm just
thing,
sick of the fucking two-party system, bro.
Same.
Like, and the Electoral College, like, our votes are pretend votes that might influence the real votes. It's like, I am a member of the
Electoral College has never voted against what their constituents have voted, though. Like, there's never been a time ever where the Electoral College votes differently than the people. Like, the reason
that
why
happened last election, bro. There was more popular votes than there was.
That's not what the Electoral College is. The Electoral College, it's basically like, for example, if we're in Gwinnett, we have or if we're in Georgia, we have this many votes in the Electoral College. But that doesn't necessarily 100% correlate to our population because it's all divided by counties. The way that you win the Electoral College, the way that you win the state is you win the amount of counties, right? So like if Fulton County wins, it's worth a certain amount of points, but there's still the rest of Georgia. So like if Democrats vote in Atlanta and they win that portion of the vote, but the rest of the state, they win all those other counties, it counts more. So even though maybe in the popular vote, if you break down the population numbers, there could be more Democrats than Republicans that voted or whatever. More people voted Democrat than Republican, but because of the way that it's all divided, and that's what people bring up when they're talking about redlining and they're talking about gerrymandering and all this type of stuff, is that the lines have been drawn by politicians that know, oh, well, if we include this little pocket into our county, that we know that these people over here are more likely to vote Republican, so we're going to like loop them into the county. That's why the county lines are all so fucky and weird. You're like, why does like the city of Sandy Springs like normal shaped and then it's got this one little pocket here? Oh, well, maybe it's because of this, or also maybe it's because of like gerrymandering, and they have like literal that is the right word, right? Gerrymandering. Yeah. I'm like, am I messing something up like when the hernia thing? But it's not necessarily because of the Electoral College that's why the popular vote can win, but someone else can be in office. It's because of that type of shit. But the thing about the Electoral College is actually Trump is the one who's trying to get rid of the Electoral College right now because of whatever. Like,
it was my understanding, and I could be wrong because I really don't pay that close attention to politics, but like the Electoral College is like, cool, my constituents all like 59% said Democrat and 41% said Republican, but I'm just gonna vote Republican anyway because I'm the Electoral College and I can do what I want to do.
No, it's basically the reason why they created it is because they were at a certain time they felt like, well, the people aren't smart enough to know, that's why we elect the people in the Electoral College or whatever that will actually cast the real vote. But I'm pretty confident that the Electoral College has never voted against what the state votes. And I think
it's the other way around.
No,
I think
no.
I think
because
they frequently vote against what the state wants.
Because the electoral college, however many you have for your state, all of them have to vote that way. It's not like, because that's what they talk about when you like, we just won Ohio. That means we got 14 votes in the electoral college. We just won California. That means we got 47 votes in the electoral college. So whatever state you win, you get all of the members of that, of your representatives for your state or whatever. Like, so it's, you know how like when you look at the map, California's worth more, New York's worth a lot more, Florida's worth a lot more, and then a lot of the other states. That's
like
how many votes they get.
Like
that's how many
Michigan
votes you get in the
and
electoral
like
college, and you have to get at least 207 or whatever it is to win. And so when you win the state, you win all of those votes from the electoral college. It's not like, well, I'm representing Atlanta, so I'm the electoral college and I'm going to vote Democrat. No, I'm representing this, so I represent Republican. It's like you get all of the people from the one state. But anyways, it's silly.
It's all this red versus blue fucking
But
left versus right, elephants and donkeys bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly the saddest part is that the American people are the ones that are going to lose out. And it's sad that
every time
the Democratic Party couldn't figure out someone else besides Joe fucking Biden to get in there, because I mean, honestly, I think he was the worst equipped to debate Trump. He's the worst equipped to win against him. And if you want my prediction, I definitely think Trump is going to win.
I'm not convinced that. Yeah, everyone's like, there's no way anyone's going to reelect a criminal. Like, there's no way he flubbed the coronavirus response. Like, oh, this and that, blah, blah, blah.
If you hang out on Twitter, you hang out on Twitter all the time, yeah, right. you'll probably believe that, because that's all you're going to see.
Yeah,
but you have to remember
being
that
in a bubble, man. Because like the thing is, there's a lot of people that, not just his base, like there's a lot of people that really like Trump. Like, this definitely reminds me of George Bush in 2004, like after 9/11, everyone's like, no one's going to reelect George W. Bush again. There's no way. And ta-da, he got, because most people are like, well, I'd rather have the same guy than a new guy. I'd rather have the same idiot than a new idiot.
And let's be honest, it's like, at the end of the day, when they're debating, like Joe will always say, like, oh, well, during your presidency, this is your virus, this is blah, blah, blah. And like, and then Trump fires back, well, during your, under you, I was inherited the worst recession, blah, blah. And it's like, at the end of the day, the president is not the sole person responsible for anything for everything that happens in the country on their watch. It's like,
it's not like one
you
guy
killed 200,000 Americans from coronavirus. It's like, there was a pandemic.
It's like, and you killed 400,000 soldiers because you took away their health insurance. It's like, what the fuck?
But the main thing is, like, at the end of the day, if I look back 4 or 5 years ago, has my life changed that much based on who the fuck the president is? No.
Well, you are a white guy too, so don't forget that, That's a factor.
Yes, but also, like, yeah, it's like, I understand where you're coming from. It's like, yeah, I'm the most privileged person that can exist right now in America, probably. But at the end of the day, the winds of change blow on us all. You know what I mean? Like, there's a story that I forget if it was Zig Ziglar. I can't remember who.
That sounds like a Zig Ziglar thing.
Yeah, I think it was either Zig Ziglar or one of those other MLM
like Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn. It was Jim Rohn, and he talks about, all this type of stuff. He's like, you can spend all your time looking into politics and whatever, but it's gonna affect you whether you're like really all into it and letting it ruin your life and letting it take over all your ideas. It's affecting you just as much as the guy who's not paying attention at all and just goes on with his life, because he's like, you can spend your energy there, but it's not gonna get you anywhere, because they're gonna do what they're gonna do. You can only like change you or whatever, and it's like. He talks about, like, in regards to MLM and stuff, he's like, you're going to invite people to your, thing, and they're not going to come, and you're going to get all mad about it, like, why didn't, he said he was going to come, he didn't come to my thing, but you have a birthday party and one of your friends doesn't show up, and you're not like, you're like, oh, he probably had something come up. You're not like mad about it, it's like, but as soon as it's about like a business thing, you get all butthurt about it. And it's like, he says, don't take that class. He's like, if you're going to ask why some people say they're going to come and they don't come, just don't take that class. You're never going to figure it out. Just don't worry about it. You just know that this is what's going to happen and that's how it's going to be.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think about even like kids, you know, like someone who's anywhere between 10 to 16, like they're not paying attention. And no matter,
I don't know, a lot of them are paying attention. If you look on TikTok, a lot of them are very, very active. Probably more active than normal.
I'll speak on behalf of myself. When I was 10 to 16 years old, I wasn't fucking paying attention.
But you didn't have all these social media devices and a phone in your pocket
Correct,
that had access to watch a debate in your bedroom if you wanted to.
TV, there was, you know, newspapers, there was magazines, there was people talking on the streets, you know, like there was conversations at work. Like it wasn't like they weren't, like it wasn't being discussed. But I mean, for the most part, like you said, like my life was like pretty much the same, you know, like I can't think.
And that's what,
unless you are someone who I guess like heavily relies on the government for lots of things, like whether it's like, I mean, any reason you would need any type of help from the government, like that's when your life would be probably different, as if like policies changed or whatever, and you're like, oh.
No, I'm not saying that doesn't have effect. You're right. Like, you know, you're totally right. Like, you know, when it comes to healthcare and things like that, it's like, yeah, those can make big sweeping changes. But at the end of the day, did your life go did it go down a full point? You know, like, did your life get like so dramatically worse? And can you blame it solely on this one guy? Like,
well, everyone likes to blame it on the one guy because
of course it's easy to blame.
He's the one guy who's supposedly in charge. But the truth is, it's like you got to look at Congress, and you got to look at the Senate, and you got to look at the Supreme Court, and you got to look at, you know, like your local elections, and you know who you're sending to Washington, and who your fucking mayor is, and you know, like those are the things that I think matter more, is your local stuff. It's like, you know, what do they say? Think globally, act locally, or whatever that stupid little quip is. It's like, you know, it's more about what's happening in your neighborhood than it is necessarily on the grand scale of things.
100%. And
we've seen states operate autonomously. We've seen counties and cities operate autonomously because they're like, man, fuck this government bullshit. Like, I ain't doing anything, you know, like, I mean, Atlanta mayor does that, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the whole American experiment, right? It's like we have multiple governments inside of the government. It's like that's why weed is legal in California and Colorado, but like federally, it's still a Schedule I drug.
And then like Georgia, anywhere in Georgia will get you jail time except for Atlanta, where it's been decriminalized. You know? It's like, oh, did you drive down one extra road that went one direction you didn't know?
And you have a plant on you?
Yeah, it's like...
You have a plant that grows in the ground?
It's like 5 years automatic.
Yeah, it's minimum sentencing. Anyways...
mandatory minimums can get fucked.
Yeah, exactly. But basically, I think it's just really sad that this is what we got. And it's very, very, very apparent that something needs to change. And sadly, I think Trump's going to get voted in again. Everyone's going to blame him on all the problems.
And that's fine. Let him, you know.
It's fine. Yeah, but what's really sad is when you look at what a lot of these, you know, local governments are doing that are, it looks like they're trying to help. Like, it looks like for example, with like lockdown stuff. It's
trying
like
to steer the narrative.
On the front-facing facade, it looks like that they're actually helping, but I think deep down they're trying to pull some strings and pull some political bullshit so that, you know, Trump looks worse. And I think if it was really all about...
They're always trying to pull some sneaky shit.
And I think if it was all about actually, you know, helping people and making everyone feel safe and everyone feel empowered and all that, life would be very different. But unfortunately... We've just got these two stupid old parties that can't budge on stuff.
I mean, yeah, the two people that are running for the presidency are like 77 and 71 or some shit. Like, there's these two old fucks. And if you look...
They're literally like geriatric pedophiles. It's so weird.
And if you look at you know, Congress, the average age of Congress people are like 60, 70, 80. It's ridiculous. But the average American is like 37. It's like, why do we literally have these ancient fucking relics? These like old fucks. And everyone's like, oh, well, it's all about experience and maturity. And it's like, No, they're just old fucks that can't think differently. They're just stuck in their goddamn ways.
Yeah. And that's like, I finished reading that book, AI Superpowers, last week. And like my biggest takeaway from that, I had a few big takeaways, but like one of them is that say what you want about China. And obviously there's obviously a lot of bad people, a lot of bad things going on in China right now, but I got to hand it to them. Seriously though, China just gets shit done because they're not concerned about debate. They're not concerned about fighting for whatever. Their politicians are not lawyers. They are engineers. Their politicians are people that want ultimate forward progress and ultimate domination, and they'll stop at nothing to do it. And the thing is they are not afraid to change the old ways, and it's in their blood, dude. Like they are not afraid to just uproot the whole. They're like, oh, the current system's not working. Let's uproot the whole fucking thing and make something new. And they
have the power to do that, though.
They have the power to do that, but we could too. But the problem is it's not in our culture. Like the American culture is just so drastically different than the Chinese culture. Like
people would have to campaign for change, and like hopefully the people would vote
and convince the budget and blah blah blah. And
like,
they just look at it from such a rational level that they're like, oh, like
but
autonomous,
but it's not democracy. It's not democracy.
I understand. I'm just saying, like that's the reason why they're dominating is because they're not hindered.
They're not democratic.
They're not hindered by decision making. They literally just go, okay, this is what do we need to do from a logical standpoint? Okay, are some people going to die? Fine. You know, like they just make those types of decisions. Like, okay, what do we need to do to establish ourselves? Like, okay, well, we can't look bad, so we need to lie about our coronavirus deaths. Done. You know, like they don't care about being necessarily right or good or whatever. They just care, like they just are straight domination. And like, for example, they're building cities that are completely ready for autonomous vehicles. When do you think the American highway system is not going to be completely ready?
We're building underground tunnels.
They're literally there's in the book that I was reading they were talking about this city that they're building where the entire underground is a completely autonomous vehicle highway, and then the upper level, like the ground level with trees and all that, is strictly reserved for bikes and pedestrians and parks and all this stuff. So like cars will like not really operate on the upper levels. The whole underground of the city, it will be ready for autonomous
road
vehicles.
Trip to be stuck in a fucking tunnel, dude.
Dude, but it's not.
That would be the worst.
But it's not because your car becomes a movie theater. Nickelodeon. That's the same joke as last time. But
did you just get slimed, dog?
Yeah, I got creamed.
I'm gonna slime.
Oh no, he ate the slime. Remember that?
Oh no.
I'm gonna squirt the dirt.
Harrison Ford ate the slime.
Let us shoot the rope. But
mine's more of a lava. Like it's like. Bleh.
Thank you for that.
There's no pew pew pew. Just. Bleh.
It's a
Nickelodeon. But anyways, yeah, so like the autonomous vehicle highway, like the actual roads themselves will be able to like communicate with the cars. So number one,
I
you won't
lie, that would actually be dope to have like an invisible chauffeur so I could just like, I don't know, watch movies or do work or hang out with my friends.
No, that's the thing is that they are saying that the autonomous vehicle will become like the second home or whatever, because the only reason why driving sucks, like, oh, we're stuck in a traffic jam,
is the driving.
It's because you can't do the things you want to do when you get to your destination. I can't wait to get home so I can play Xbox, but I'm stuck in the fucking car. You're just going to like play Xbox in the car. Oh, well, I can't, whatever, because I'm in the car. I can't work. Oh, you're going to have a little desk in there and you can just work. Mm-hmm. You know, like the car will become a media consumption device. It will become the place where you're hanging out. The seats will like face each other so you can like hang out with your friends. The walls you're like, oh, we're in a tunnel. Who says there's windows? There's like the walls will be screens so that you can just watch shit.
You could watch some pornog. Can maybe have a friend in there and do some bidism.
Wow.
Maybe there's
that
a little,
took me
maybe
a
there's
second.
maybe there's a little drain on the floor. You could do a little play, a little bit of play.
I hate you.
There's this page. So there's this guy named Dylan who's an Australian Paralympian tennis player, and his girlfriend is like a sexologist, and I follow both of them, and the shit she posts, bro, is lit. Like, I'm reading through this, and I think to every time I read what she's writing about, I'm like, I wonder if he does that to her, or like, I wonder if she does that to him. Like, I almost want to hit him in the DMs and be like, does she pee on you, bro? Or maybe he pees on her.
Are you into the pee thing?
Nah, I mean, but I wouldn't be like, I'd try it. You know, if someone was like,
if someone was like, yo, can I pee on you? You'd be like, don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like Zach on the H3, bro. Like, I'll try anything, dude. Like, I'm open for just about anything.
Yeah,
like,
Zach is definitely open.
Like, I'm just trying to find creative ways to be creative.
On that note, we should probably mention the fact that we are hiring.
Yeah. So, if you want to work with two fucks like us, we're hiring.
Yeah, so AJ is leaving the podcast, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is
he's moving on.
This is not clickbait this time. The first time when
he was moving out of my house.
Moving out of the house. Now
that was only phase 1.
Yeah. That was phase 1 of the transition.
No, but AJ's leaving, so we are looking for another producer in the Atlanta area. So if you just need to know how to work, Premiere Pro, in Adobe products and stuff like that. We're gonna have a website link you can go to. It's wheelstowalking.com/apply. It'll be linked in the description where you can go and fill out a little form, and who knows, you might be the next producer of the Wheels to Walking podcast.
Yeah, and I think we're calling this an internship, aren't we?
I don't know. You can call it whatever you want, but yeah, if it's an internship to see if you are good.
It's a try. It's a trial. You know, it's like we're seeing if you were, if you're
yeah, we gotta give it a test run, see if you're good enough. But if you know anyone,
we gotta give a 30-day test period and a 90-day trial before we even talk about permanent residency on the Wheels to Walking podcast.
So if you know anyone or if you are someone, you can go to wheelstowalking.com/apply, use promo code WheelsToTainting, and you'll get 50% off of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're listening and you came from the AD podcast, or if you know me from pretty much any time in my life, I think honestly, what
if you came from anywhere, apply.
You know what I really hope for? I hope
if you're listening to this right now and you came here because you came here, apply.
I'm hoping honestly that someone that I worked with at my couple of years that I worked at Apple shows up. I hope they apply, because like I know that they're probably they're qualified. They probably got the computer to do the work. They probably have dicked around on programs before. Because I remember when I worked there, like some people would be like work 28 hours a week, and on the side would like do like all this crazy shit. Like that was one
like BDSM in their autonomous vehicle.
Yes,
with a drain in the bottom.
Yes. That was one of my favorite things about working there, was like most people that worked at Apple were not there for the long run. Like they were there like as a job, but they were definitely doing other stuff, like big shit stuff on the other side. Like
they were dropping massive dumps.
Bro, why is everything gotta be ridiculous, man?
You said big shit.
Like they were doing large projects of quality and viable work,
Oh, you mean like pooping?
You said big shit.
You been pooping?
I'm dead ass. What did you say? I'm dead ass fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
Yo, speaking of pooping, I remember one time I fucking was just sitting there chilling, like after I shit, and then like I don't feel my butthole, and then like another one just kind of like whooshed out of there, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And I looked, and it was a big boy. I didn't even feel it. I had
like a little exorcism.
Well, I like dropped a long boy, and I was like, fucking, let me just shoot off this text message real fast. And then like another long boy came out. And I'm like, would you look at that? I didn't even have to use my hand.
That's pretty amazing.
It was beautiful. Yeah. So
That's a beautiful story.
wheelstowalking.com/apply. We're going to have a couple of little questions in there.
Yeah. So let's talk about the video that we did last week, the Maria video.
Ooh, yeah, that was nice. That was fun. My favorite videos are videos about my mobility because like we can clickbait the fuck out of it, and the comments are always extremely positive and extremely encouraging, or extremely negative and extremely shit talking. Like there is usually no in between. Like the comments will range from, "Oh my gosh, I've never felt like someone understood me more in my entire life," all the way to like, "Get the fuck out, bro. You are not disabled. You could walk, bro. I'm disabled and I'm a paraplegic. So you think that you're disabled is pretty fucking joke." Yes, that's what he said. It's like,
that just gave me cancer.
yeah, it literally is like, "Wow, I've never felt so, oh, thank you. I've been trying to explain my disability forever. Fuck you. You're not really disabled." It's like,
The range of comments is just fantastic. It's quite fantastic.
It is entertaining to say the least, because it's like, you prove my point. I even made a skit about you inside of this video.
Literally.
Someone made a comment on that little clip that we took out, like, "I don't think it's funny that you should be making fun of that with smiles on your face. The fact that you're kicking your legs and smiling is a diss to all people that can't actually kick their legs." But my favorite part is, yo, homies, my favorite is when you guys back me up in the comments, because I ain't got to reply to that nonsense, and I'm not going to reply to that nonsense. But, like, there's always, like, a handful of people that are, like, my reverse shit-talking warriors. Like, they will take my talking points that I've made in other videos and, like, type it out and, like, argue back. Like, I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I love it.
It's pretty fantastic. But, yeah, so the video, it did pretty dang well. It did better than the Chelsea video. Which
yeah, so far it's performing better than the
surprising.
Chelsea video, which is interesting. Like, it's performing out of the past 10 videos we put out. It's number 2.
Yeah,
And the first video being the "Why I use a wheelchair if I can walk," like mobility update, and also that one it got 40,000 views in the past 2 days, just out of nowhere.
YouTube be like
99.3% suggestion rate. Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah.
Can you do that to all my videos, please?
Yeah, it's really strange how that happens sometimes. But it is funny how we can kind of predict sometimes when videos are going to do really well, and sometimes we just like can't tell at all. And it's also very funny. Like, for example, the Chelsea video was a lot to edit. Like, that one just had a lot of footage. There was just a lot to do in the video, and I added like a lot of B-roll and stuff. I was trying to make the conversation interesting and whatever. And it
was good. A lot of people thought the second half of the video was even better than the first half.
Yeah, and like a lot of people in the comments were saying like the editing was really good on that, which I appreciated. And then the Maria video, it wasn't that it wasn't as good or anything, but there was a lot less clips. It required a lot less editing. It was a lot just more straightforward.
It was playful. We were kind of dicking around too, you know?
Yeah, but it was also like very straightforward. Like if you look at my timeline, so if you're on an editing timeline and you're looking at the thing as a whole, typically you're going to be looking at like tons and tons of just like tiny little chop, like just so many cuts. And like literally it's like hundreds of cuts. And in the Maria video, you look at it and it was like chop, chop, chop. And then there's like a giant chunk. And then chop, 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 chop. And then like a giant chunk. Chop, chop, chop. And then a giant chunk. Because like there was just certain parts where it's just very straightforward and it didn't really require any like editing.
It also helped
and
that
it was literally just, I'm just going to leave it how it is because he's explaining how to do this squat thing. And like, I don't need to cut any of this out really.
It also helped that Maria is also good on camera too.
Yeah, Maria is definitely
even
good on
during
camera.
the intro, she did like a leg cross and like a pose, and I was like, "Damn, you've been on camera a while, haven't you? Like, you know what's up."
Yeah, for sure.
You know what? I can't wait. This will be fun. Is like when we find ourselves back in LA and we get to do videos with the other Rolettes. When we get to do, there's like 5 more. I think 4 more. No,
I think there's more. I think
so. There's like Natalie, Steph, Catherine, Connor, Maria, Chelsea. There's 6 total. Yeah. So there's 4 other girls that we got videos with potentially.
There we go.
I want to have Steph do my makeup for me with her quad hands. Like I want her to give me
Oh my God.
like a beauty makeover with, and I want her to show that.
Hi,
like,
sisters. Today we're going to be doing makeup on the Richard Corbett. And he'll like say your name wrong.
Yeah. No, but Steph's a badass though. We listened like when we were in LA, we also did a podcast, which by the way,
All the way, by the way,
I meant to say also, by the way.
it's all the way live.
It is live. So go to Wheel Talks Official. Link will be in the description. Link will be in the bio, whatever.
If you listen to this podcast a lot, it'll probably be a lot of recap. Like you probably won't. Well, you'll find some new stuff.
I mean, it's basically the full untold story, but like I get way more graphic and way more specific, and like I don't know. I fucked with it. I had a fun time listening.
I fucked with it too.
I had a fun time listening to it. But anyway, we were listening. We were trying to like. We were like, I wonder how they conduct their interview shows. So we listened to Steph's A Yellow. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Steph at A Yellows, and this girl, bruh. So she like gets in a car accident, becomes a quad. 2 months later, leaves to go like to go home for Christmas or something. Like she gets a day pass or some shit.
From the hospital.
Gets hit by another car, and then like
And then her mom's in the hospital.
and her
'cause of
mom's in the
that.
hospital, and then bitch gets diagnosed with cancer, and they have to like they gotta cut out like
Oh my God.
a huge chunk of her back. But she a badass
man.
though. She's the type of chick that literally like doesn't she on Tinder and like Bumble and stuff and doesn't tell people she's disabled. She literally just will like show up in her wheelchair and be like, either you like it or you don't. Fuck you. Like it's kind of great. Like I love that attitude.
I feel like a girl could do that more easily than a guy.
Totally, a girl could pull that off because at least a guy's like, well, I mean, she's still pretty though, you know, or like he might be like, well, I mean, she got boobs, you know, like there's like, I feel like a guy would just be like, fuck it, whatever. But like a girl would be like, how dare you? You lied to me. You deceived me. If our relationship is built on lies, then I can't be doing this right now. I'm leaving.
You're lying by omission.
Yes. But I feel like a girl could roll up and be like, hey, what's up?
Yo, I feel like, is that the equivalent of someone not disclosing that they're trans? Like if you went on a date with a trans woman, would you be mad about like if later on, like once you get to that point and then you're like,
Ooh, that's a good question. I
like,
don't know.
bro, you've got a penis. And sorry if I offended people by saying that, but I'm just saying, like in that situation, that's probably how I would like. I don't know. I'd probably be able to figure it out beforehand.
You know who
but either way,
I'd have to talk to a disabled trans person, which
Yeah.
we have a lot of. I know.
Yeah,
I
for
know
sure.
a few that are listening right now. What's up?
hit us up.
You know,
but that's what
yeah.
I'm saying is like, is it the same thing? Because like a lot of people say like you should disclose that before a date or whatever.
I mean,
Because also it's also kind of a safety thing too. Because a lot of guys will get very like violent and things like that. Like when they find something like that out, because in their brain they're like, I ain't gay. Yeah, they're like,
it's like,
exactly.
It's like you're not gay,
and it's
Don't
not
worry.
only that. They're mad that they got like quote unquote tricked. You know what I mean? Like they're mad
there are
that they
legit-
weren't able to tell, and so then deep down they're like low key upset because they're like, well, not even low key, they're high key upset because
There's-
they're in their brain. They're like, am I gay? I just went like I almost just whatever with this fucking dude. You know, like that's how
I just
they're
made out with
thinking.
like a dude with boobs and a pretty face. You know.
Yeah, because if you're already at that point, you know, you probably
I
don't know.
There are actual stories of straight cis men murdering trans women. I'm always bad with it.
yeah, it's definitely a thing.
And they were like cleared of it because there's actual a psychological phenomenon. I forget what it's called, where basically like if you get tricked and you murder someone, if the person didn't like disclose, then somehow it's justified. It's very confusing.
I don't know.
There's a lot of violence towards trans, and it's very fucked up. But yeah, I mean, I think about even like same thing of disclosing if you've got herpes or if you have.
I don't know if I'd put that on my Tinder profile.
Or like HIV, like I mean, you know, you gotta like. I mean, I'm not saying
it's
you
your
put,
responsibility
I'm
to
not-
tell them
I'm not-
before you have sex. Yeah,
I'm not saying you put it on your profile, but I think for me at least,
put it on your resume.
I mean, during the
You're applying for jobs and you're like, well, I just got to come clean, guys. I've got herpes, and they're like, You didn't have to say that. This job is not set. You're working at Burger King. I hope that doesn't affect your job.
Oh,
Don't be
shit.
rubbing the patties anywhere.
Don't be putting the Krabby Patty on your clam. So,
Oh my God.
so the fucking Jesus.
Don't be putting the patties between your two buns.
That was one of the things we talked about a lot in the fucking Rollouts Experience live chat thing.
Yeah, we talked about putting patties in our friggin'.
No, not. I mean the meetup. I mean the SCI awareness meetup. Sorry, we talked a lot about the like dating and like.
Yeah,
And
there's
like-
a whole panel on the Roulette
Yeah,
experience.
it's like
about
what to do, how to do it, what's allowed, what's not allowed. I mean, you've got people all the way like Steph, who's like, I ain't gonna tell anybody shit. You got some people that are like, I'll tell people before I meet up. There's people that are like, oh, we'll just save it for the last picture on your profile. There's some people that are like, no, put it on the first picture of your profile. You know,
Let's just be real. Online dating with a disability is going to be challenging.
It's worse. It's
However
harder.
you
It's
shake
so
it down.
it's so harder
It's
because-
going to be very challenging.
because online dating is already basically
Unless you in those devotee groups.
it's complicated, hot or not, basically. That's literally all it is. You're like, left is not, hot is yes. Because like literally, I think about this, dude. It's a shame that online dating is picture only. Like it would be so much better if it was like a little 15-second video about yourself. Because I don't know, I feel like I've seen pictures of people that
Too
I'm
much
like
work.
that I'm like, ooh, they kind of ugly. And then I meet them in person and they've got like a great personality and like good energy and like a great smile. And you're like, oh, I've changed my mind.
This is true.
Like I've seen, like I remember one time I was at the
What's
gym.
up? I'm Zach. I like to fish, and I also like computer games.
Yeah.
Like that's like your Tinder profile.
As a matter of fact, here's one of my bass right now.
Yeah, it's like, what's up? My name's Zach. I like big mouth bass fishing, and I also like to play Fortnite with the boys. Holla.
Do you like IPAs? Good. I like IPAs and Georgia football.
Oh my God. Dude, so many profiles of girls will say stuff like,
MUA.
well, no, not that
I used to
end
think
of
it was mwah. Like I used to think it was
I like how you had a little.
because they're like
You did a little.
Mwah.
You did a little.
mwah. Mwah. They'd be like, mwah, darling, mwah. Because they always got little lipsticks and like shit next to it. And I'm like, why are all these bitches telling me they're mwah? I'm like,
For
what is
people
that?
that don't know, MUA is makeup artist.
Yeah.
So people will put that in their bio.
And if you say
Yeah.
you're a makeup artist or a hairdresser, you're fucking crazy. Sorry, makeup artists and hairdressers. You bitches are fucking crazy. I've never met a not crazy one. You guys love drama.
Well, their life is drama. When someone comes and sits down, what do? You
Gossip.
You just gossip.
Gossip.
But anyways, the thing that I was actually going to say is in the South, you get like tons of people that are like, my typical Sunday, and it's like cheering on the dogs, drinking beer. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're not my type at all.
Going to church, drinking beer, and cheering the dogs while eating a dog. Hot dog.
while eating a glizzy.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
While munching down on a glizzy. But anyways, with as far as online dating goes, I think that the reason why the hot or not thing basically works is because on the very first level of everything, it's kind of like the whole thing of
it's
like
attraction, yeah.
it's kind of like Love is Blind. It's like, oh, I love this person, blah blah blah. But it's like if you're not physically attracted to that person, it's going to be really hard to get over that barrier. And for some people, the physical attraction doesn't matter as much at all. But for a lot of people out there, it's like, yo, I got to look at your face and be super happy. Like I got to look at your face and be attracted. Like I got to look at you.
I'm 34 and he's 24. If we have kids in 6 years, he's going to be 30 and I'm going to be 40. He is 5'4". I don't even know if I'm really attracted to Mark. Shut up, Jessica.
What is this? Love is Blind?
Yeah, deadass. There's this chick named Jessica who we all hate. If you've ever seen the show, We All Hate Jessica. She literally gets wine drunk with her dog. She literally gives wine to her dog.
Oh no.
She
That's cringe.
is very stressed out, and you can tell by her sunken in baggy eyes. And she's 34 and single for a reason. For a reason.
Guys, I have to show you guys this TikTok that I found earlier. Here, keep going on this, but let me
Everyone
get this
hates
set up.
Jessica. That's just the name of the show. The name of the show should be like, love is blind, but everyone hates Jessica. Mark, I feel bad for you, bro. You fell way too far in love with her.
Is that the Mark that lives here?
That's the Mark that
Cuevas
we
or whatever
know.
his name is?
That's the Mark we know.
I don't really know him, but I know of
That's
him.
the F-45 Mark.
All right. So this is kind of off topic, but it's on topic for the type of thing that we were talking about, and then we can talk about bands.
Yes.
Okay. I've got to show you guys this. So for everyone that's been to like a church that has like a youth band, you're going to love this.
Yes.
So this is called when you're trying to slip in the main theme, but your music director isn't having it. Okay, here, 1 second. Okay, here we go. So it says playing Hosanna at church. So is the guy saying here? Wait, let me read the subtitles. Sorry, I forgot there were subtitles. So he's playing Hosanna at church, and he says, "No, not this song." And he's like, "You underestimate my power, the nerdy guitarist. Don't try it."
The music director's like shaking his head.
He's playing the Star Wars theme. If you don't realize.
Yeah. Jeez, man. You know, one of the things that I find both...
It's so funny because it's so true. I can totally see.
I find the...
Oh my God, sorry.
The concert vibe at churches like clickbait. It's basically clickbait. It's like, all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up with a comedy skit while you guys are getting seated. It's called the 10 minutes before the show. We're going to do a comedy skit, and then afterwards,
like a countdown.
There's this guy named Jeff who's going to show up and say like some welcome shit, and like, if this is your first time ever here, don't forget the welcome packet. We got a free gift for you in the back.
We got a free set of AirPods Pro for you in the back.
And then there's always like, okay, we're gonna do 3 songs. The first song, a secular song. The second song, a hype song. The third song, an emotional song. And then we're gonna pass.
And then we're gonna have an interpretive dance while we do the offering.
And then we're gonna pass the offering around with another skit. And then some guy's gonna come up on stage and do a complete personal development seminar, and then sometimes mention the Bible sometimes. And it's like,
And he's gonna be wearing Yeezys.
and he's gonna be wearing fucking $1,800 fucking shoes. By the way, Preacher Kicks. You guys know about this fucking Instagram?
Preacher Kicks.
You know about Preacher Kicks, AJ?
It's an Instagram page.
Someone's mentioned it to me.
It's an Instagram page that features all of the like really hype shit that like those types of pastors
Like
wear.
they'll be wearing like a $400 shirt and like $700 pair of pants and like $1,800 speakers, and in the back there's this thing. It's like Jesus and frugality or some bullshit. But I find it incredibly distasteful, but also like church / the Bible / religion is kind of slipping these days because everyone has access to the internet and they don't have to ask mommy and daddy about the meaning of life anymore. They can just Google it and get scientific answers. So churches have to be like more and more and more creative. They're like, all right, how are we going to trick people into thinking this is cool? You know, they're like, dude, all right, first of all, open up rock concert. Second of all, personal development seminar. Third of all, singles group out. We're going to watch football and drink beer. You know, small groups, baby. We're going to do fucking activities together. And it's like, man, get the fuck out of here. Well, yo, Passion did fucking boxing. They did goddamn boxing. They had a fucking boxing event. They literally like, all right, boys and girls, we're going to ride a mechanical bull and do a boxing event. Come on down to church. Like, Sunday, ride the mechanical bull at 125 Spalding Avenue.
And watch Andy Stanley absolutely get demolished by Louis Giglio
in a boxing bout. They've been training, and it's like, I'm sorry, is this church? Is this church? What happened? What happened?
That's very true. That is very, very true.
It just blows
and
like
very, very
dead
funny.
ass. When I remember
Speaking of which,
when I moved to Atlanta, I remember there was one guy I met at church because I was still going to church at the time. He's like, honestly, I'm just here for the bitches. He's like, there's so many hot single women here. He's like, I've fucked my way through the third aisle. He's like, that's all I do. He's like, he's like, I meet him here at church the next weekend on a Saturday night. I take him out. We bang. We wake up. We come to church. I find a new one. Like, he's like, that's all I do is I fucked my way through this whole goddamn church. Like that's only, I was like,
oh my God.
because they're literally like morally bankrupt hot bitches, especially the ones at the 6 o'clock service because they don't come to the morning service because they're too hungover. They're getting brunch with mimosas. Bottomless mimosas.
Boozy brunch, then church later?
Church later.
Dude, speaking of the Andy Stanley fight, look at this meme that I found earlier about the debate. It's my God, it's Bernie Sanders with a metal chair. Like, you know, in like WWE when there's already a fight going on and then a third person comes in. It's a picture. We'll have to put it on the screen.
Bernie with a metal chair.
It's literally
pandemonium.
It's Bernie Sanders with a steel chair.
I've seen
So
people
funny.
doing like The Rock getting stunnered by Stone Cold, and it was like the representation of like Trump and Biden. It was like,
Did you see that video of The Rock, how he tore his metal gates off of his house?
no,
Dude, this is insane. So The Rock lives in Atlanta right now because he's filming some stuff. And like,
well, he also has that huge expo he's developing too. It got canceled. It's the equivalent of,
what did he do to get canceled?
so basically he's taken like all the things that are muscle related, everything from like bodybuilding to strongman competition to like CrossFit stuff, like any
Dick push-ups.
and he's created like this huge fucking expo. I forget the name of it. It's like something, but it's like it's by The Rock, and it's supposedly going to take over the Arnold and the Olympia and like World's Strongest Man competition. But like it was supposed to happen in 2021, but
Is it a game show?
no, it's a proper like it was happening at like World Congress Center. Like it was like a huge fucking like expo that was meant.
You said they were building it. I thought it was like something that.
No, I mean, sorry, they are creating it, not building it. Like they are building the event. They are creating the event.
I see. Yeah, but
Nick Strength and Power, if you guys watch that channel, always keeps us updated on stuff like that.
indeed. But he lives in Atlanta right now, and he's got these big metal gates that he has on his house, and obviously he's probably got tons of security and whatever. And for whatever reason, in the morning he was leaving to go shoot something, and the gates malfunctioned.
He just like
and
ran through him or something.
No, he literally got out of his car and ripped the metal gates out of the brick wall. Like this, they literally had to move the gate later. There's a video. I'll pull it up. It's on his Instagram. It was literally insane. They had
This guy is
three
a fucking
guys.
tank.
3 guys had to move the gate. Like that's how heavy the gate was. They needed 3 men to move the gate that he ripped off of the wall.
And it took
whoever
it
came.
took one Dwayne Johnson to rip it off.
Yeah, and the guy who came and like inspected it afterwards or whatever was like, I didn't realize that was possible. So this was from earlier. He goes, not my finest hour, but a man's got to go to work. We experienced a power outage due to severe storms, causing my front gate not to open. I tried to override the hydraulic system to open the gates, which usually works when the power goes out, but this time it wouldn't. I made some calls to see how fast I could get the gate tech on site, but I didn't have 45 minutes to wait. By this time, I know I have hundreds of production crew members waiting for me to come to work so we can start our day. So I did what I had to do. I pushed, pulled, and ripped the gate completely off myself, tore it out of the brick wall, severed the steel hydraulics, and threw it on the grass. My security team was able to meet the gate technician and welders about an hour later, and they were apparently in disbelief and equally scared.
Let me see.
And he's doing filming for Black Adam. And then scroll up to the next one.
That's intense, dude.
Scroll up, and then you can see the other pictures, and it's like a video. And literally, he ripped this giant metal gate that would like stop a car, from what it seems like, and ripped it out of the wall. But anyways,
That's
dude, The Rock,
that's terrifying.
The Rock should run for president.
And his vice president should be Tom Hanks.
Why?
Old people. You got to catch the old people vote.
I don't know.
No
Tom Hanks is involved in all that Epstein shit.
Is he?
He hasn't been on the radar, dude. He hasn't been in America in a minute. and then he just happened to get coronavirus?
It's a conspiracy, dog.
It's a conspiracy.
How come it's only the celebrities that are getting the virus? Huh?
You gotta be rich.
My fucking throat hurts from making fun of all these weird voices today.
Now
Now I got the
Rona.
That's it, dude. If you just say the word corona, you get corona.
Speaking of people who should run for president, Joe Rogan. Would you vote for Joe Rogan for president?
Bro, Jogan?
I definitely would.
I don't know, man. I feel like this is.
Who would you want? Who, if you ideally had to have someone as president, who would you vote for?
I mean, nobody.
No, you have to say an answer.
Okay, fine. Then I'll answer Joe Rogan or The Rock. How about that? This is why I like The Rock's come up story, because it's very similar to like Arnold's come up story, but Arnold wasn't born in the U.S., but Dwayne Johnson was. And then I like Joe Rogan
Was he?
because
Yeah, I
to
guess.
me Joe Rogan is a reasonable man. And not only is he a reasonable man, he's a reasonable man who's not ashamed to change his mind. I mean, there has been, and he's very curious. He's very investigative. He wants to know things, and I think I definitely, I definitely appreciate individuals who are unashamedly and willing to change their mind, people that are curious and investigative, and people that stand up for what they believe in. You know, they push towards things, you know? And
Yeah.
and there's some stuff that like Joe says and does that I maybe not agree with, but there's some stuff that he does agree with. And most of the time, if he says something I don't agree with, it might, most of the time, it's usually because I haven't really like researched it yet. Like he might say some shit and I'm like, man, that's some bullshit. And I'll like look into it and I'm like, oh, well, maybe it isn't, you know? I wonder half the time, like if he's doing, I mean, he does a lot of episodes a week. And I wonder, like, where does he have the time to, like, research this stuff? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, he does a lot of episodes a week, but it's like 3 hours out of his day. Like, he typically only does one a day. Like, he was at one time doing, like, multiple a day. Or if he does do multiple a day, I think he'll, like, batch them and then release them. Because he used to record them all live. So as soon as they were happening, they were being uploaded. So if he did 2 in one day, you knew it because
You got
it
2 in
would
one
come
day.
out the same day. But now he doesn't do that. But, I mean, I think it's like, how does he have the time? It's like, he's got the time because we've got the time to fucking listen to him. Like, we have the time to spend that exact amount of time listening to this motherfucker. He's got the time to do it. Like,
It has been hard to keep up with him, though. I'm not going to lie, because it's like
yeah, it's
2
like a full-time
hours,
job.
59 minutes, 3 hours, 27 minutes, 2 hours, 46 minutes. Like,
Well,
3
here's
hours,
how you
3
do it.
hours, 10 minutes.
Here's
3
how-
hours, 5 hours, 31 minutes.
I listened to that whole one. Here's how you do it. You put it on 2x or 1.5. So then you're
And then
already helping out.
And then before you do it, you can really understand what they're saying.
I just heard what you were saying.
I mean, I am fine with 2X if they didn't sound like goddamn Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Dude, I've been trying to listen to the H3 Frenemies podcast on
can't.
2x.
I
I
can't.
listened to it.
I can't listen to it, period, because Trisha literally, when Trisha speaks, it's the same. I get the same feeling I get when people try to like teach me about God. You know, when someone tries to like witness to me, like a fire burns inside of me. It's the same thing when people try to pitch MLM. I'm like, I have rage. I'm raging right now. Like, I literally cannot listen to her speak. Like, I've tried, but like, she is literally so fucking toxic, and her voice is so fucking annoying. Like, she's just like the epitome of pure toxicity.
Yeah.
I can't stand her.
So as I was saying, I try to listen to the podcast, and I do listen to the podcast, but when I put it on 1.5 or 2x, it's so funny because Ethan talks at a much slower pace. And so when you're listening on 1.5, it is like a chipmunk, and then Ethan sounds almost super slow, even though I'm listening on 1.5 or 2. And it's like, how am I even perceiving what this crazy woman is saying? But I wanted to bring this up. Speaking of MLM,
I've got Hosanna stuck in my head, by the way.
me
Thank
too.
you.
Speaking of MLM, I thought about this yesterday, or maybe it was like 2 days ago. I was talking to my roommates, and I was like, dude, the 12 disciples would have joined a pyramid scheme. The 12 disciples are the exact people that would join a pyramid scheme. They're like, oh, wait, so what are you saying? Oh, you're God? Oh, cool. Oh, and all I have to do is drop everything right now and follow you for the rest of my life?
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
Cool. Yeah,
And then-
I'm down.
and then all
Wait,
I
do I
gotta
get a BMW? Sick.
So I got to recruit people to follow you. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So,
dude, how funny is that, dude? The
Yeah.
12 disciples would have joined the pyramid scheme.
not
That's
only-
so funny.
and not only that, they would have been the only 12 people making money. Like, that's the thing about MLMs. It's like,
dude, that's a comedy bit right
it's
there.
like, it's literally like only the people at the top are the one. I literally watched this whole fucking spiel on like, it was a really cool video. And this guy exposes a lot of, this is one of my favorite channels recently. I might have mentioned it on a podcast.
I think you have
previously.
mentioned this. We talked about MLMs a lot.
Yeah.
I think you have talked about this.
And it was such a cool breakdown of MLMs. Everything from like the yearly conferences in Vegas to like the running in circles motivation and like all the mindset talk and, you know, all of the fact that like you're broken poor pitching people that are broken poor about this like lifestyle that they can live and the freedom they can have even though you're not having it because you have to believe and like all this like
It is very culty.
and basically how it's pretty much like if you like 7 levels down is the population of the world. Like if you recruit someone who recruits someone who and they recruit 7 people and they recruit 7 people and they recruit, it's like if you go 7 layers down, that's the world's population.
Yeah. I was involved in MLMs for a couple of years. Anyways, I think we've talked about MLMs a lot on this podcast, so I don't necessarily want to go down that road. But
Yeah, we don't need to.
the funny thing was just if the 12 disciples were alive now, they'd be definitely have entrepreneur in their bio and be an MLM. But back to Joe Rogan. Joe has been under a lot of fire recently.
Is it because his studio looks like shit?
Well, that, but also apparently Spotify employees are like striking.
Oh, I saw that. They're trying to like demand that some episodes get edited or some shit, right?
So basically, Joe
fucking hell, man.
So Joe signed a contract with Spotify, and the contract, as far as I know, states that he has 100% creative control over the show. That was the one stipulation. Is like, I'm going to sign this
But I get
contract,
to do whatever I want.
but I will get to do the show exactly the same of how I already do it, and you have no creative control and you have no say over the content. And as of right now, there's a lot of Spotify employees that are very angry
Fucking
and
snowflakes.
they will find, you know, sound bites from the podcast of times where he said certain things that were maybe insensitive or whatever, and they're like, really, this guy's the guy that we're paying hundreds of millions of dollars, blah 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 blah. And it's funny because Joe will say anything and it will get turned into a headline. Like he's constantly in the news for just saying things that aren't controversial, but people turn him into controversy.
He could literally be like, I don't know what I think about the presidency, and they'll clip the I don't know how to think. You know, it's like, I don't know how to think about what the debate was. And they'll be like, Joe Rogan admits that he does not know how to think.
Well,
and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it's weird too because they'll get mad at him for like having right-wing people on. Like, he has Alex Jones on. How could he also had Bernie Sanders on?
Exactly. He's got everybody on.
Who else on the left would you even want him to have? Like, he's had Andrew Yang on. He's had Bernie Sanders on. He had Tulsi Gabbard on. He had multiple. I mean, he hasn't had fucking Trump on.
He needs to get Trump. That'd be awesome. But
Honestly,
but
it wouldn't, because he would just talk over him the whole time.
Well, I don't think Joe would allow him to talk over him. I think he would probably be like, Jamie, cut his mic if we have to, you know? And I think,
Yeah.
I think that but he also wouldn't let him slide on bullshit. He'd be like, no, Mr. President, I'm asking you a direct question. Like, you need to answer that direct question. If you can't answer that direct question, that's fine, but quit answering a question I didn't ask you. Like, I feel like that's the type of, like, he would press it, you know? Kind of like that whole federal tax fucking question in the debates where it was like, I'm only specifically talking about federal taxes. I know you've paid a bunch of other taxes that are other different types of taxes.
talking about your income tax.
But I'm only specifically talking about your federal income tax. And he's like, well, I've paid lots of taxes. I've paid millions of dollars of taxes. It's like, no. That's not what I asked you. Like,
yeah. I mean, he's never going to answer that.
of course not. The same way he's never going to answer, or he's not going to denounce white supremacy.
Because here's the thing.
That was very interesting.
Here's the thing. He doesn't need to denounce it because his base doesn't care. And the other part is he knows that if he doesn't denounce it, he's just going to get more press and more people talking about him. Like, we're talking about that right now.
Facts.
We are not talking about anything that Joe Biden did or said because he barely said anything, but everyone's worried about all the things that Trump didn't say. And like the Proud Boys comment, it's like, oh my God, he's dog whistling to this far right neo-Nazi group that blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, that is fucking scary. But at the same time, we're talking about it right now. We're making it more real.
He was definitely pressed to answer that question. And his reply was, sure, I'll denounce anybody. What do you want to call them? And they're like, white supremacists. And he's like, well, honestly, it's more problems with the left. Like, he literally just like skipped right over it.
Yep. But
we already covered that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Sorry to bore you guys.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't know how, I don't think that Joe would do a debate moderation because I don't think he would enjoy it. And right now he's pretty much just kind of at that point where he's like, I want to do stuff that I enjoy. I don't want to have a conversation. I don't want to do that.
I mean, the same way he wouldn't be president. He has said
wouldn't want to be
over and over, he's
president.
like, what an unappreciated, stressful, underpaid fucking job.
Well, that's what people say about Trump, right? They're like,
It's
well,
like, I would-
this man has humbled himself and he sacrificed his entire paycheck to be the public servant, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
It's like,
He's an attention
okay.
whore. Get the fuck out of here. That's the thing. Trump could be taking money from the Russians, fucking hookers, stealing money from charities, as if he just flew under the radar. No one would know. Like, if he just didn't have to be the center of fucking attention. If he would just like quit being a goddamn personality and simply just do whatever he wanted to do. And I think most extremely wealthy people intentionally lurk in the shadows. They don't want anyone to even know their name or their face or who they have money or like. There's literally so much of like, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm just like, well, I don't want people to know that I have $18 billion of oil money. Like, fuck.
That's the thing. It's like, would you rather?
I just want to walk into Walmart. You know, like, leave me alone. You know, I want to go shoot guns and ride four-wheelers and fuck hookers and, you know, like,
there's not really much value in being very, very famous.
It's kind of the opposite, honestly.
There is value in being very, very famous, but at the same time, you lose a lot as well.
You lose a lot of freedoms and
I think the worst.
privacies.
I think the worst is these social media kids and stuff that never figure out how to monetize anything, and then they're just extremely famous with no money. That's the worst.
Not only, well, I also feel bad for the rise and fall of the TikTok kids. The ones that
fall?
Like, overnight, they will get extremely successful. Like, in a matter of months, they will have 5 million fucking people. And then something happens, they do something, they say something, whatever, and they fall and they crash and they burn, and then it's like, it's just over for
I don't
them.
know if that's really happened to anyone yet.
I mean, I can't think of any specifics, but I mean, I even think of like even just small town kids. Like, think of like that one kid at the small town in their small school that is good at dancing that gets 500,000 fucking followers,
but they never moved to LA.
And
or
everyone
anything.
praises and worships them and thinks they're so incredible, and then, you know, they get addicted to drugs or they get pregnant or, you know, they go to jail or like something happens to them and then just they're gone, you know, and they like this whole, like, it's just like this rise and fall because the platform that like anyone can get famous. Like, and it's so interesting because it's like, to me, in the world of easy to get famous, I think TikTok is by far the highest. And then the next level is probably Instagram. And then the hardest is definitely YouTube. And I feel like the reason why I say that is I see people on those platforms that like 200K on TikTok and they've got like 5,000 on Instagram and like less than 1,000 on YouTube. And I'm like, damn, like, if it's that quick to grow, then it's got to be that quick to crash too.
Well, you do realize that you're labeling that based on maturity of the platform. That's how it always works. TikTok's the brand newest, Instagram's the second newest, and YouTube's the oldest. Like, that's just how it works. Anytime there's a brand new social media, it's way easier to grow on it because people are looking for people to follow, and the content black hole gets like people like. The social media needs content for it to survive, and in order to survive, it needs it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like
Vine.
Right now, obviously, it's the right time to be on TikTok because it's brand new and you can still get massive numbers. It's very hard to grow on Instagram because people are actively unfollowing people. No one's like, who should I follow on Instagram? They've pretty much got their core people that they already follow on Instagram, and they're not really following new people unless it's really something remarkable.
I
On
pretty
TikTok,
much only follow
I
wheelchair
any
people.
random
That's
fuckers.
it. Yeah.
And that's the thing on YouTube is the same thing. There's so much content that you're actually trying to figure out what not to watch and not what to watch. And that's the thing about any brand new platform is you're trying to figure out what to watch. What do I use this for? How is this different than Instagram? Oh, it's different because I like these comedy videos or whatever. I'm going to follow some of these comedy people. That's just how it works. Like, anytime a thing is brand new, it's always going to be easier to make followers. And you're right. And I would even say below YouTube, the hardest way to get famous is through traditional media. Like I'd say it's probably easier to figure out how to get famous on YouTube or something than it is to get famous by being a really big actor or being on cable TV.
YouTube,
there's just way less positions.
YouTube, you as a creator can grow with your platform. Like your first videos are going to be your worst videos. And if you upload one video a week for 2 years, that's, 52 weeks a year, that's 104 videos. And then by video 104, you can hustle and you can grind your way to success on YouTube. Mainstream.
That's how it is on anything.
Like main, I don't think that works like in acting, for example. Like in order to get hired for a commercial or for a role in a TV show or in a movie, you have to already be good. They're not going to just allow you to be shitty.
You think that they didn't start off doing like free plays and shit?
No, like you can, but I'm saying like for it to be on video, I guess is what I'm saying. Like you can start out by going
Everyone starts off and
going
sucks.
to like acting class and, doing theater and, maybe you're a performing arts degree in college.
Well, I think what you're describing is you do a lot of work for free until you get paid. It's like you do a bunch of like plays and stuff where you're not getting paid, and then finally you get good enough where you like book something that pays you.
I guess what I mean is like TV shows, movies, commercials. There's a lot of behind the scenes work versus on YouTube. It's all in front of the scenes work. Like look back.
No, it's not. You got to edit. That's all behind the scenes.
No, I mean like. You grow, like look at any of your favorite YouTubers, like go back and watch look at their first 10 videos. They're going to probably be crap. Like they're probably going to suck so much ass, but like right now they're like incredibly high production and good flow and they're good on camera.
I see what you're saying.
They got products and like
you can go back and see that.
You can see the progression, like.
Yeah, unless they delete them.
Or hide them or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, make them unlisted.
It's true.
Yeah. There was something very important that we haven't mentioned yet. One of our listeners is very dedicated.
Bruh, this it's more than just a listener. I'm pretty sure he like I don't know how to describe it anything other than just like I'm fucking flattered. Someone went and fucking for real like permanently tattooed themselves.
Dead ass fucked up.
Like dead ass for like, look at these pictures right here. Like, he literally went and fucking.
He got a tattoo of the temporary
tattoo.
Like, a real temporary tattoo.
A real temporary tattoo, like in the same place, like on his wrist. Like, he fucking for real, like got a real temporary tattoo. Oh, that's right. You're not on Instagram. You don't know. You haven't seen this yet.
Not on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, what's his name? Jacob.
He's from Germany, and he's actually
That's
like a proper artist. Like
he literally got the temporary logo tattooed on his wrist. And it's not just
so there he is just getting tattooed. A close-up shot is a little bit further, and he's wearing the temporary hoodie while he's getting it tattooed. And then they're like,
did he get it on the other arm or is it on the same arm?
It's like it looks like it's on his left wrist than it is on his right.
That's fine. Maybe he's left-handed. Maybe he's a lefty McLefterson.
I don't know. I'm bad at understanding mirrored images because like this one it says temporary backwards, but this is his right. I don't fucking know. I'm an idiot. But yeah, he straight up like went and got like the real like tattooed. I was so stoked. I was like, and I'll give this guy your discount code right now. Use the code tattoo30 for 30% off the temporary collection. But more than likely, if you're listening to the podcast, you probably already got some temporary.
You already got that merch.
But if you don't,
merch.
But if for some reason you don't, tattoo30, 30% off. I don't think that code will expire. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool as shit. Someone like literally, bro.
Someone permanently
branded themselves with a fucking a brand.
It weirds me out because I'm like, I made that in Photoshop and now it's on someone's skin. Like obviously it was your tattoo.
It was on me first, yeah.
But it's like But if you were like, if you look at his tattoo and be like, which is it more similar to the logo on the hoodie or your tattoo? It's definitely more similar to the one on the hoodie.
Yeah, he didn't get the boxes filled in, which is fine. And his is a little bit larger too, which also is probably a good idea because mine is starting to get a little blurry because it's so small.
Dude, honestly, I was like, maybe I should get a temporary tattoo.
It'd be fucking cool. It'd be your first one.
It'd be my first tattoo, and it would be like something that
Means something.
It means something. It's also like no pressure. It's also just like a little thing. Like I'd probably kind of want it small though, like yours.
You know what's so interesting is like I've been finding myself feeling like very stressed and very overwhelmed and very in conflict with like a lot of things in my life, and I've been trying to like come up with like, I don't know, like a mindset to like deal with it or some shit. And then like I'll find myself wearing one of the temporary shirts, and I'll like go to like brush my teeth or something. I'll just laugh. I'm like, it's right there. I'll be like, it's me. I'm the one. And then I'll like look at my wrist again because like I've seen this.
You do the Joker laugh.
Like I've seen this thing for I don't know how many years, fucking 8 years. I've seen this thing on my wrist, so I almost like don't even notice it anymore. It's just like it's just there, you know. So like, but I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. This shit will be eventually over. Like it'll like as long as I like keep doing whatever, like I'm gonna be fine. Yo, speaking of which, okay, so
speaking of which, let's go get a sandwich.
Nice.
Speaking of which, sand.
So
dumb.
I want to say when we were in LA the first time. You crack yourself up so much.
AJ's laughing too.
You want to go to Witch and get a sandwich?
No, speaking of which, sand. Anyways, what were you saying?
Remember how disgusting my face looked in the comedy store the
Yes,
comedy
I do.
show video?
Yes, of course I do.
I had the most like puffy. I looked like I
got hit by a
I don't
car
know.
or something.
I looked horrible. I looked.
You look like you got out on the side of the road and hit and was trying to help someone, and someone hit you with your car.
I looked like a fucking vampire. I was so pale. My cheeks were so puffy. I looked inflamed and swollen. My eyeballs were sunken into my face. I had these huge bags underneath my eyes. Like I just looked fucking terrible. And come to find out, I was having sleep apnea. So like I literally wasn't sleeping at night, like at all. Like my body kept like jolting me awake. And a lot of wheelchair users, spinal cord injury guys have sleep apnea. And if you don't know that you have this, go fucking to your doctor and check the shit out. It also has to do with the fact that I work out a lot and I've got like a big thick neck and whatever.
It's due to the fact that I like really I'm like jacked as shit and like I'm sexy as hell. I'm just kidding.
It's true. So I went and got like it figured out, and then I had to get like an oral appliance, like a mouthpiece to like move my jaw forward. You know, and then when we were in LA, like it was I still hadn't had my mouthpiece yet, but I'd figured out ways to like figure it out or whatever. But anyway, my sleep apnea recently has been getting worse and worse and worse to the point where like I'm not sleeping that great. And what was happening was I was going to bed at like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 and sleep until 9, 10, 11, like fucking way too much time in bed because I was just so fucking tired. So I was taking like, I was up 3 or 4 times a night, like peeing or tossing and turning or whatever. And I was just fucking, God damn it, like just not getting any REM sleep. Like I felt all of those same symptoms coming back again. And I was like, fuck me, dude. And like, you guys know, I've been kind of sad recently and like unmotivated and undisciplined and like, it's kind of trash. And so I was like, I need another appointment again. So I like went to talk to my doctor and he's like Kiwi. I'm pretty sure he's from New Zealand. And he's very peppy and very energetic and I love having conversations with him. But anyway, like
He's a Kiwi. He's green on the inside and kind of fuzzy.
One of the things that he had me do was like, he had me like shrink the amount of hours that I'm in bed. He basically was like, okay, well, what time do you go to bed? I was like midnight. He's like, what time do you wake up? 9. He's like, how many times do you wake up in the middle of the night? I'm like, 3. And he's like, how long are you awake? I was like, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes each. He's like, but you can go back to sleep pretty quick. I'm like, yeah. He's like, so you're tired? I'm like, well, yeah, obviously I'm fucking tired. And basically what he had me do is like, he has me go to sleep. If I wake up at 9, he has me go to sleep at 2 a.m. He like shrunk the amount of sleep hours. He's like, imagine like books on a bookshelf. He's like, they're just like flopped over all the way and there's gaps in between. He's like, we're just going to squeeze those books together.
They're flaccid and they need to be erect.
Yes. And he's like, we need to like squeeze all of your sleep together, he's like, you actually need less time in bed so you actually sleep through the full night. And I was like, really?
Oh.
I was like, doesn't make any sense. He's like, it's reverse intuitive, I know. So he made me get this like snoring app
It's intuitive.
to like make sure I'm like not snoring. I have to take this like sleep thing where I like put this like finger, like this shit on my finger and on my wrist, and it like makes sure that I don't like, it checks my oxygen levels, and like it's this whole fucking thing, like a sleep study. And then you know, he's also having me, he's like, you know, take melatonin. I was like, I can't, it gives me nightmares. He's like, do you take it right before you go to bed? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you need to take it 2 hours before you go to bed. And he like explained to me the whole mechanics of it or whatever. But basically, over the past week, I've been experimenting. Like if I need to get up at 7, like today I got up at 7. I went to bed at like midnight and I slept through the whole night. I was like, no fucking way. Like this is cool. Like I actually woke up refreshed. Like I feel like not tired.
Did you have
or exhausted.
Dreams?
Not that I recall. And then, you know, like a couple of nights before, you know, I like went to bed at like 2, which is weird. Like I don't like forcing myself to stay up because I'll get bored, honestly. But like I'm like forcing myself to stay up till, you know, 2, and then I go to sleep and then like wake up at 9 or whatever. So it's really kind of interesting because like I'm sure I probably require, you know, 8 or 9 hours of sleep. I've always needed more sleep. I mean, you can even ask my mom as a kid. I'd sleep like 11 fucking hours. I'd sleep so much. But this whole like figuring out my sleep shit, like I forget how important good sleep is, especially when I'm used to like only having bad sleep. Like my requirement for, you know, like caffeine the second I wake up, and like my requirement for like, you know, caffeine when I wake up and caffeine at 12 and caffeine at 3. And, you know, like always being like groggy and like depressed and like lethargic, and like, you know, my food being all messed up and like having a hard time with my hormones and like gaining weight and like just like all this stuff that is so directly correlated to my sleep that I didn't even like put the pieces of the puzzle together. But it's kind of crazy because like I've probably only had 2-3 nights of decent sleep. I wouldn't say that's excellent. I'd call it just like decent. And I'm fucking lit, bro. I'm so excited because I'm like, damn, like it's 9:30 right now, and I would probably still
Just be waking up.
I'd probably be like, yeah, I'd probably still be in bed like scrolling or some shit, you know, and just dead.
Dude, that's one of my new goals is to not sleep with my phone.
Just so dead, just like, ugh.
Yeah, I've been trying to not sleep with my phone recently because I'll find
you fall
myself
asleep with your phone always. Like
I know
in hand.
that's my problem is that I don't care about not having my phone in the morning when I wake up because honestly I don't want that. That's the thing. But I fall asleep like watching YouTube videos or like watching some stupid shit
being
or
on Instagram
scrolling
or whatever. Yeah,
it's typically a YouTube video that I end up falling asleep to, and a lot of times sometimes it even helps me sleep. Like I'll literally look up like ASMR sleep videos or whatever, just like I just need to go to sleep.
Boring things to watch.
Boring things to watch. No, and one thing I actually like about Audible, I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks recently. They have a sleep timer in the app.
Oh,
so when you because that's my biggest fear is like just playing the audiobook, falling asleep, and then waking up and having no idea where I need to like go back to.
So you put like a 15-minute sleep timer or something, and then when you wake up, you're like, oh, I just go back 15 minutes or whatever.
Or you go back however long or whatever, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was also telling me like, don't try to go to sleep because trying is an activity you do when you're awake. Like if you lay down to go to sleep and you do not go to sleep in the first couple of minutes, you need to get up and do something again. Like don't try to sleep because that is a activity. That is a stimulating activity to try to do something. He's like,
that's like when you're stretching. Like if you're trying really hard to stretch, you actually aren't getting the full stretch because to truly stretch, you need to let completely go.
Yeah.
You know? And like, actually, one thing that's interesting that I didn't really ever think about, but it totally makes sense, is like, for example, if you're trying to stretch your hamstrings or something like that, an easy way to really make sure your hamstrings are having no tension is if you flex your quads, because you have everything in your body has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you're flexing your quads, that means your hamstrings are going to have to be 100% relaxed.
Because otherwise they'd be pulling.
Or if you're trying to, do the other thing, if you're trying to like stretch your quads, you should flex your hamstrings so that it can be completely like unstretched. All the wheelchair users are like, can't move my legs, thanks.
No, but like I know some bendy ass motherfuckers in wheelchairs though.
Dude, that's true. That's very, very true. There's one more topic. We got 5 minutes that I think is funny. So we were earlier talking about old bands that we listened to back in the day.
Bro, do you listen to MCR?
Yes, I do.
Are you into AFI?
Yes, I am.
What about
A7X.
A7X? What about BMTH?
Oh, I'm into BMTH.
What about IBM?
Dude, I love Watson.
Yeah, that's good.
No, but I literally did know all the names.
I just
Bring me
had,
the horizon.
when I said that, I had hair that swooped like this that I had definitely dyed black. I had very, very...
Did you go through a scene phase like that?
Eyeshadow and mascara. My scene phase was just long-ish, dyed black hair.
Dyed black, though?
Yeah.
Damn.
Black shoes, jeans, black shirt, and like gauges. But like mine were like black gauges. Like, so I'd like...
Dude, Richard's been through so many phases of like style. Like Richard's like went full emo kid. Then he went full like wanksta. Then he went full like I don't know, but
because that has to do,
funny.
I think, with the fact that like I never had a steady, consistent group of people or group of friends. Like I was never like regularly or steadily in school. I was never like regular. Like I never had like a,
yeah. So to be accepted, you're like you could easily just jump into the scene or whatever. And like if I dye my hair black, they'll just think I'm one of them.
Yeah, I was definitely like all about the subcultures. Like I would just jump into like whatever subculture I wanted to be a part of.
Or fucking car mods and shit.
Yeah. Like I'd be like,
you just jump in full force.
yeah. Like I mean, you know me, it's 110% or nothing, and it's like, oh,
Crystalia would call you such a cuda.
oh, I'm very ooh shiny.
Yeah, literally.
But like. I think of all the times I've gone through so many phases. I remember one time I was like, all right, I'm a rollerblader. Okay, I'm a BMXer. Okay, I'm a pro.
You base your whole personality on what on that
like,
one thing that you like,
yeah,
and then you change it 6 months later.
I'm a pro paintballer. Okay, I'm a street racer. Okay, I'm a youth group kid. Okay, I'm a, like I'm an art kid now. Okay, like I literally would just like go through all these fucking phases, and it's like, I mean, literally.
Do you think you're just trying to be accepted, or you
definitely? I just wanted to, because I've never felt like I fit in anywhere. So like, what better way to
like
fit
small
in?
doorways?
Yeah. Like if it's less than 36, my wheels bang. I just don't fit in anywhere. No, but I definitely. I remember one time I went to some like this guy, friend of mine, Jacob. It was this girl that I was the same girl that I wrote that like Hinder poem to. Her cousin.
Hinder.
Her cousin invited me to like an Under Oath show or some shit, and I like went to the Under Oath show, and we had a great time, and then we like drove back from Lawrence, which was like far away.
Headbang and chill.
Yeah, and we slept at his house, and I remember we woke up, and he was like making pancakes, and he's like, "Hey, bro, want some pancakes?" And we were still like greasy and sweaty from the night before because we like didn't shower. I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Before we leave, and I take you back home." He's like, "Do you want to like check your Facebook or anything? Like, like make sure that your MySpace is up to date." Like, he was like before it was like serious, like it was so serious to him. He's like, "Do you want to like update your status or like check your, like there's a computer in the back room, like wait.
So he was I thought you were saying that he wanted you to like sign in so he could like snoop your shit or something.
No.
He was legitimately like, "Yo, do you like before you leave, do you need to like update your MySpace or anything? Like update your status and say how much fun you had last night?"
Like literally.
That's so funny.
So this was like in the era of like flip phones.
That's funny.
Like flip phones
and
texting.
That was when Facebook statuses said Andrew Deitch is.
Yeah.
So it would always format it and say is, and then you'd say like, Andrew Deitch is angry because his mom took away his phone.
Dad,
Fuck you,
don't
Mom.
take away my Xbox. You do it so much better. Why'd you take away my Xbox?
Mom and Dad, why'd you take away my Xbox? Dude, speaking of Xbox.
Or maybe it was a Kill Switch Engage show. I can't remember, but it was fucking.
Speaking of which, I've got two last things. First of all, band members' names from back in the day. Band members' names back in the day. Band members' names back in the day.
I found out the
Avenged
genre.
Sevenfold.
The genre I liked was called metalcore, and I only figured out that now because I'm on Spotify looking through playlists, and it was like, take a time capsule back to the flashback of your times of high school with this metalcore playlist, and I'm like, how do they know who I am? And I'm like, oh, because I gave them like my birthday and where I grew up. Obviously, they knew what I'm into, and I remember being like, oh, it was called metalcore.
what do you think it was? Just hardcore?
I don't know.
Post-hardcore?
I don't know. I thought it was just like metal.
I was more into like hardcore, post-hardcore, and then there was like
give me some double bass pedal, give me some guitar solos, and I didn't like it when they were I was like,
yeah,
but I,
you gotta have some
it was
some
like-
clean
it's like,
vocals too.
There's a good, beautiful melody, and we have like Haste the Day was my shit. Remember Haste the Day?
Do you remember Escape the Fate?
Yeah.
Escape the Fate was awesome, dude. Okay,
August Burns
Here's-
Red.
here's-
Fuck, what are the names of these bands? God
here's
damn it.
the names of Avenged Sevenfold's band members: M Shadows, Sinister Gates, The Rev was their band. Oh wait, this is Rev is piano. He was the drummer, I thought. Zachy Vengeance and Johnny Christ. Johnny Christ, dude. Are you gonna name your guy Johnny? Dude, Sinister Gates. That's your name for your like, dude.
Green
imagine
Day?
being like, "What's up? My name's Zachy Vengeance." Zachy Vengeance. Are you a cartoon character?
No,
Are you a player in Guitar Hero?
I was gonna say it's character select. Like you're the character
Yeah,
select.
you're like-
It's like we've got Zachy Gates.
No, it's Zachy Vengeance and Sinister Gates. And M Shadows. And Johnny Christ.
wheelstowalking.com/apply.
Yeah, dude, I have one last thing. Go do yourself a favor and play the new remastered Tony Hawk. It's the shit. If you liked any of the stuff we were just talking about, you know who you are. Go play it. It's amazing.
You know who the fuck you are.
You know who the fuck you are. So if you know who you are, go play Tony Hawk and apply to become the new Wheels to Walking producer and follow us on places.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.